Again, there is a break in the video. I am extremely sorry for this disturbance in between. A wooden table should be called a solid. Why do you call it a solid? Because it is having definite shape, intermolecular space is less or minimum, therefore force of attraction is more, it cannot flow, it is rigid, which means you have to write down the properties of the solid. So therefore you call a wooden table to be a solid. If it is a 2-mark question, you can quote any 4 points of the solid, characteristics of solid. Okay. Next, we can move easily our hand in air but not through the block of wood. For that you require a karate expertise. Why? Because in case of air, the particles are very far away. There is space in between the particles, so you can move through the air. But in case of wooden part, the particles of the blocks are very, very close by. Force of attraction is tremendous, so your hand cannot move into that. Your hand can pass through only if there is space in between the particles. Okay. Now next, liquids generally have lower density as compared to solids. Why liquids are having lower density? Because the particles are spaced away. Density means what? Mass per unit volume. So if the volume is less and particles are very closely packed by, the mass increases. So mass by volume ratio will become higher. In case of liquid, on the contrary, the volume is greater, space ज़्यादा है, so volume is greater, and the number of particles packed in that volume is lesser, so mass will be less. So mass upon volume ratio in case of liquid will be a lesser ratio than that of a solid. Clear about it? Okay. Now we understand what is the change of matter in a state. We have understood 3 states, no? Solid, liquid and gas. Can they change from one form into another? Well, of course it can. Primary classes you have learned it. Am I right? Here there is an activity which is given. So the setup. You have a beaker and you're supplying heat with the help of the burner. In the beaker you are taking around 150 gram of ice. There is a thermometer which has been kept suspended so that you can constantly measure the temperature as the heat is supplied. Now this thermometer is slightly different from the thermometer. Sorry, this is a stirrer. Here this is a thermometer. It's not visible clearly in the picture. Here you have a thermometer which is passing inside. Okay, this is how the thermometer is suspended. Now this thermometer is different from the thermometer with which you measure your temperature, body temperature. This is called laboratory thermometer. So here you get one more question, difference between laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer. In laboratory thermometer, it can measure up to 100 or sometimes even greater than that, degrees Celsius of course. But in case of clinical thermometer with which you measure your body temperature, it will go up to 40 degrees Celsius only. Because your body temperature is somewhere around 37 point. And if you are having high fever, it may go slightly 38 point. By that time you take medicine and try to bring it down. You cannot wait and watch till 40. Otherwise you'll have to say goodbye. So that is the basic. So you can't use a clinical over here, otherwise it will blast. And you can't use a laboratory to measure your temperature. Okay, so therefore they are 2 different. Again, another difference is in case of laboratory thermometer, the mercury is colored. A colored dye is added so that it is visible from far. But in clinical thermometer, it is colorless, so it is not visible. You'll have to observe it very closely. The shining silver color of the mercury has to be made visible. Clear? Achha. Now when you constantly supply heat, you will find that initially the temperature on the thermometer shows 0 degrees Celsius because you have placed it in ice. There is no change in temperature in spite of supplying heat. What is the reason? Can you think about it? Well, the heat which you are supplying is utilized by the particles of the ice, that is solid, to convert into liquid state. That means the molecules are gaining kinetic energy. The particles are trying to move away from each other. and the ice starts melting. Unless and until the complete ice melts, the temperature will show constantly 0 on the thermometer. That means the heat which you are supplying is hidden, it is not available for the thermometer. Now once the ice melts into water completely, the heat which is now supplied will be available to the water, and there you find that your mercury will start shooting up. When it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, again it becomes constant and the water starts boiling at that temperature. No matter for how long you supply the heat, the temperature will not be again recorded on the thermometer, because that heat again is supplied to the molecules of water to convert it to gaseous state, which means a second time the thermometer doesn't record the temperature when the complete water doesn't convert into gas. These two stages where in case of melting of ice and boiling of water the temperature is not recorded, that hidden temperature is called latent. The word utilized over here is latent. Okay, latent heat. So you call it as latent heat of melting. Here you have it. Latent heat of fusion stands for the amount of heat which is required to change 1 kilogram of solid completely into liquid at atmospheric pressure. It is called latent. Latent stands for, I told you, hidden. It's not recorded. Clear? So that is when the ice was melting into water. Second situation is when the water melts into here vapor. When it is converting into vapor, it is called latent heat of vaporization. Got it? So if I try to sum up these points, it will be like this. Latent heat of fusion, amount of heat which is required to change the state of matter from solid to liquid, which is not recorded on the thermometer, is called latent or the hidden heat of fusion. Latent heat of vaporization is amount of heat required to change the state of liquid into vapor, and again this temperature is not recorded on the thermometer. This is latent heat which is hidden. Clear? Which means solid if you heat converts into liquid, liquid if you heat converts into vapor. Contrary, if you try to reduce the temperature, that is you cool it, it will convert into liquid, and then again further cooling will convert it into solid state. Got this point very clearly? So latent heat. So here there is an important question which is often asked. What is that important question, you know? That steam causes more burns than boiling water. Reason: particles in steam, that is water vapor, at 373 degrees Celsius is having more energy than water at the same temperature. Got it? Water, when it is converting into steam, it is having tremendous amount of heat energy in it, but it's not recorded on the thermometer. So though it shows 100, the conversion of water into steam requires tremendous amount of energy, and that energy is packed in that particle. So if you are exposed to steam, you will end up with severe burns. Then boiling water. Clear? So it has something to do with the latent heat of vaporization. So very, very important question which is often asked. Similarly, the other question which is asked is, which is better in cooling? Ice at 0 degrees Celsius or water at 0 degrees Celsius? That is another question. It's just opposite of the previous one. Ice at 0 degrees Celsius and water at 0. Water at 0 means it has already melted from ice to water. When will ice melt into water? If you have supplied heat. So water at 0 will have more amount of heat energy, but though it is not recorded on the thermometer. That is latent heat of fusion. So water at 0 will have more amount of latent heat of fusion than ice at 0. So ice at 0 will be better in cooling than water at 0. Got this two important reasons? They are very, very, very important, which you should be knowing. Clear? Now, a second thing which is to be learned along with this is the substance which is called sublimation. We know that solid converts into gas, right? But now my question is, can solid converts into liquid and then gas. Now question is, can solid directly vaporize? Well, an activity shows over here. You have taken a dish with some ammonium chloride. Instead of ammonium chloride, if you take the camphor stands for kapoor, which you utilize for your puja items, isn't it? So either that or naphthalene balls, anything you can place, and then you plug in. Now here they have shown ammonium chloride, and ammonium chloride is taken over here, and you invert a funnel, glass funnel, and its upper end is closed.